All right, welcome back to the channel. It's Model Rocks 321. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Also ring the bell notification so when I drop a new video, you'll be the first to know. All right, let's get right into it. So today we're going to talk about scratch building rockets, or some of my scratch built rockets, and using alternate parts and pieces to make your rockets a little bit different. They're not necessarily scale models. Scale, you know, you want to be exact to the way they would look historically. This is just using scrap parts, pieces from stuff that you found to make a model rocket, but you want to keep those parts lightweight and things that the motors could lift, you know, something that's perfect. So here we go. We're going to take a look at a couple of my older scratch build. This is my scratch built Lil Joe 2. Made this years ago. I purchased the capsule. You probably saw some other videos I talked about this. Purchased the capsule. All the rest was all my detailing. I made the decals and everything. These are all the wedges. The fins are all just built up from a balsa, sanded them and made that shape and got it good. Pretty nice rocket. Had it in a couple competitions some years ago. So this is my Lil Joe 2, one of my pride and joys. And here's another scratch build. These are from the Yitta Wu plans. Yitta Wu designed a Lil Joe 2 around a BT-70, I believe it was, that a lot of people built. And myself, I didn't purchase his kit at the time because I didn't know, but I got the plans, get the mercury capsule, and all the rest. You use a body wrap. You have to build this transition, and you're good to go. The fins are wedges. Found thick piece of balsa, probably some 1/4 inch balsa. Drilled some holes there, and once you glue the fins on, the glue went through. It's kind of like making little welds almost. But yeah, this is a great model, great flyer. I made many flights. I've been flying this rocket for years, many years. I love it. So it's one of my favorite. So these are more on the lines of just traditional scratch builds where you're just following the plans. Some of this stuff on the table, I just want to show you some various materials and parts and pieces that you can use to detail rockets, especially anything to do with like sci-fi or stuff like that, or even made up. So this rocket right here is totally scratch built. It may look like something that exists, but this is a scratch build. It's not based on any rocket in history or anything like that, but I did borrow from some things in history. It's just a made up design. And what I use, these parts right here, I may have shown this in another video, so if you've seen it already, this is for newcomers. This part right here is actually a test tube. So here's a plastic test tube, but you have to make sure you finish these correctly so the paint will stick to this type of plastic. So here you have the test tube here with the cap, and you can totally see that right here. Here's the end cap, and this is the tube. I actually cut it and I made it shorter for my design. So that's just showing you an example how this kind of looks like a tube or a tank or an engine, or a fall away booster. So there you have it. I put one there and I put one there. Here is just a BT, like I forget, it's a 13mm tube, and here I used a little exhaust tank. I put one there and one there. Just using various parts. These are just small pieces of like styrene plastic. You can see here a raceway, that's a wood dowel. This is probably a centering ring of some sort, going around a BT-50 because that's what this tube is. So there's a centering ring, and here's more plastic. Just adding all these details. Here's some more styrene painted that gold, just for all these details. There's a piece of the foil tape, and there's some of my decals. I put a fire call there and VA, and then there's this says People's Space Corporation. Just the idea, kicking around the idea that this is a rocket that people totally funded. That's what I was playing with. All funded by the people. You know, outside of government money, like people actually funded this project or whatever. But yeah, the more detailing, more decals, is using pieces of wood dowel again. Just showing you ways. These small fins here are small. The blue fins, there's one here and one there. These are pieces of styrene, and then I cut a hole into this tube here and I inserted it in there. It's kind of like, so it's like a through the wall fin because it's small and I didn't want that to pop off. And here I cut the tube on an angle, got a flat disc and sealed that off. So there you have it. And then you can see the bottom here, more of those, I used the end caps of the test tube on this part. So make it look like they're engines here, like 4 engines, then my 18mm motor will go there. So just an example of using various parts and pieces. Now, this flying saucer right here is by Quest. I've been flying this lately. I flew it, recently. There's a video or a clip of a video, probably in the stories. These are real fun. So I got the idea. I had saved this little tray right here, this little pie, a little I think it was like apple crisp or something came in here, and I was like, well, I'm gonna save that. We had 2 of them, and I ate it. And once they were eaten, I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and save them because to me it kind of looked like a UFO, sort of, kind of like a hat, kind of like I can see it as a UFO design. So I kept it, and that's one piece that I'm gonna show you that I'm using. This tray here is from some chocolates, but they have a very space age look to them. I mean, super cool look to them. I was just playing around with them, like I folded one in the square and just looking at them, just taking a different look at them, looking at things in a different light, and you know, and it can be something. Like, to me, it looks like something. So that being said, with this part, I already started working on a project that's kind of a UFO design, and here it is right here. So I've been working on this, a 13 millimeter small little part flyer. You can see it'll take a 13 millimeter engine, which I have in there already. I don't have the engine block in yet. These are Christmas balls, some of the smaller ones. So I was just playing around with this, and I think it may work. I'm still adding. It feels balanced, but I think I may need some weight up front for flight. But just showing you guys different methods of thinking, different things you can use. Like even this wood dowel, like if you're doing some detailing, this could be like a raceway for cables or something. You can, any kind of detailing. I was even looking at these for like antennas or just reinforcement. I would cut it and add it across the top of here. Cut it before it goes over the engine exhaust, but I would definitely, or the ejection would come out. But definitely cutting it and adding it as more detail. Once it's all painted, it'll look really nice. None of this is painted yet, but for right now, I think this is coming out looking like a pretty decent looking UFO. So just all kind of parts. I save little wood pieces like this because you never know if you'll need a wood disc or something. Just I save stuff like that, little scrap pieces of tube, you know, just all kind of ways. Just looking at things in a different way to make some nice creations. These, I was thinking about possibly detailing one of them around the sides, like maybe one here, one there, and one there, like 3 of them, like just to keep that silver look going. Like I think it'll look pretty neat as it's taken off. So just showing you guys different things you can do in this hobby outside of just building the standard kit. Like those are fun, and I love my vintage stuff, and I love, you know, some of the newer kits. But sometimes just going outside the box and building and doing your own thing is another way to go. As long as the center of gravity is correct and it's balanced, you should get some good flights out of some of this stuff. So like I said, I kept 2 of these in case I want to do it again. So I have another one here. It's just a tray. It had apple crisp in there. So yeah, but yeah, just wanted to show you guys that outside of regular scratch builds like this and scratch builds like that look like a traditional rocket, you know, you can do something else. You can do something out of this world. So yeah, like I said, chocolates were in here, but this has a very space age look to it. And I was like, I'm gonna save that, and then you just stash it in a drawer, keep it with your other stuff. I have more stuff around, I just can't find everything right now. Like I said, these were test tubes, plastic test tubes, and they became the engines on this kit right here, or on this, not kit, on this scratch build right here. So the hobby is wide open. You can do many, many things. Use your imagination and come up with something great. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna say it one more time. Subscribe, hit that like button, help me out in the algorithm, drop a comment. If you have anything like this, post it, send it to me, I'll check it out. But this is Model Rocks 321. Stay tuned for the video coming up around the end of here, and I will see you guys later. Model Rocks 321.